you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, excellent. So just to bring you up to speed on agenda item 1, I sent you guys an email and I apologize that it was later than planned. But I was able to circle back on Sharon's communication with me about outstanding minutes that still need to be posted and the rest of it. So what I let you guys know is that, and I hope somebody's seeing that email because I can't see it right now, but what I confirmed and I sent you all is the approved April 26 minutes. I had those on my computer, so those are ready to be sent and posted by Catherine. So then we've got May 3rd and May 10 minutes. And Sharon, I'm not sure, I think you've got notes or minutes for those meetings on your computer. Is that right? Yeah, you do?
That is right.
Okay, so I don't recall, you guys, whether we approved the May 3 and May 10 minutes. Did we? Does anybody remember?
I can go back and see what I have in my notes is on the May 10th is whether we approved the May 3rd.
Right. Okay, so at least Sharon's got record of those two meetings. Then what's then only thing outstanding is May 24. I have no notes for any of these meetings.
You know, that was the meeting I was in my car up at the Lummi in Bellingham. So I don't know if I took notes or if I had somebody else taking notes because I didn't know if I was going to be able to. I don't remember what happened with that meeting other than I was sitting in my car.
Do you remember whether you took any notes to it in your car?
I don't. I'm going to have to go back and look because I didn't see them, but I can't believe I didn't. That's
Okay, because Kyle, I don't even remember. I think I was chairing that meeting where we all behaved badly. And Kyle, you weren't taking minutes, were you?
I was not. I can
Okay.
look for my
I'll
notes.
go back and check and see what I have.
Yeah. And I usually take notes, but I was chairing and so I don't know how many notes I was taking that day.
Well, how about this? How about if it's not found, I will agree to go back to the recorded meeting, generate minutes. If we need a set that's approved down the line, we'll have to address it at a future date for the sake of time.
Okay. That sounds good. And then Sharon, do you want to check your May 10 minutes and see if we approved the May 3? And if so, then we can PDF those and post them, send them to Catherine. Sorry, if you could just come off mute, that would be better.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay, so sorry, what are you going to do? You're gonna check and see if we approved the May 3 and the May 10?
That's right. Yes, I'm going to do that now.
Excellent.
But it's going to be a couple minutes then while I'm looking for that, so I'm not going to be taking notes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, listen, yeah, because I'm just thinking here, you guys, and I'm also looking at my notebook and I don't have minutes from the meeting on the 24th in my notebook, unfortunately. Just to let you know. I don't think I do.
It's okay. I think it's okay. If you weren't writing with keeping minutes for future approval in mind, they're not going to be the same anyway. It just makes more sense to take the time. I'll happily do the review of that session and generate some if we don't have.
Excellent. And I should have an agenda for that meeting, Kyle. I'm just looking here.
I don't even think you have to do that because I have the same. It'll be in our email file folder.
Okay, yeah, if you need it, let me know because I've got it right here and I can send it to you. All right.
Oh, yes. Okay, so minutes, at the May 10th meeting, we approved the May 3rd minutes.
Awesome. Awesome. So you have those, Sharon?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay.
The May 24 meeting will answer whether or not we took time to do the May 10 minutes and approval also. So.
Oh, actually, yeah. Actually, May 17 minutes should confirm if we approve May 10 minutes.
Oh, that's right. 17.
Sharon, are you able to just quickly check May 17?
I'm looking.
Because we'll save ourselves some headache.
I don't understand why I'm having this problem here. Hang on a second. So
so May 3 is approved. And May 10 probably was approved May 17, which would leave us only outstanding May 24, which is great. And Kyle, if you could stick handle that, and then we would all need.
Catherine has the 17th. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, it's already posted. Yeah, it's already posted.
Item 2.
Yeah, just quickly though, to finish up, we're gonna need after this meeting to approve both minutes from May 24th and minutes from today. We shall need to call a special meeting just to approve those minutes, correct?
Probably.
Yeah, okay. So when do you want to do that? Early next week or something? It's, simple.
Well, we'll anticipate another set of feedback from the PA. I say we leave it open until we have that in hand and we do both items.
Good idea. Okay. So, and Sharon, were you able to find May 17 or not?
I don't have minutes for anything after May 10th,
Oh, okay.
but I'm going to go back and look and see if I have notes at least.
Because you said that the May 17 was already posted.
I know, but I don't have minutes for it. There's some things where I had notes that I never really shaved down to minutes and they got posted. So I don't know what happened. I was trying to do too many things in too many sets of minutes. So let me go back. I have to go back and see what I have. I have 3 extra meetings that came up after yesterday morning.
Listen, I have a solution. We're going to delegate to Kyle. Kyle, could you go to the website later after the meeting and just have a look at the May 17 minutes that are posted? Because I did provide some revisions. We posted and we sent to Catherine. So if you could just check back those May 17 minutes, see if we approve May 10, then we're all done with that. Then the only thing we need to do is have Kyle do a wrap on May 24, and then we'll approve those minutes and whatever Sharon can gratefully generate for us for today's meeting.
To put your minds at ease, I will mail everybody with what I find.
Oh, thank you. You're so zen this morning, Kyle.
I have to do it right now.
Okay, thank you. That sounds excellent. We've resolved agenda item number 1. Wonderful. Okay, so agenda item number 2 is finalizing our 2 proposed amendments. Now, I just need to call up the actual document again because I don't have it. And I can share a screen if you all would like. Would that be helpful?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and I'm just trying to find the clean version. All right. Let's see. Here we go. I think this is it. Yes, I've got it here. Okay. Did anyone have a chance to briefly look at David Dellendorf's suggested edits?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So let me share a screen. Does that work for everybody?
Yes.
Okay. So here we go.
Are you just pulling up the email thread or the document?
I'm pulling up the actual document that in which we had that clean version, right? So we can consider that together. And so, Kyle, do you want to talk us through what David shared in terms of his 1, 2, and 3 comments, or just 2 comments? Because I wasn't able to get in the details on that.
I can. It's tougher with the share. I have 2 screens up, but now your share screen covers my email thread.
So, okay. What do you want me to do? Stop sharing for a sec?
Yeah, just for a second. I'll move all my stuff over. So.
Okay, excellent. No, that's fine.
Okay. So, and let me find David's quick letter. It was, in large part, it was formatting. And in partial format, it was, let's see, this is.
I'm just trying to find it again too here.
I have it.
Okay.
So 3 suggestions. So Article 10.1, and you can share screen again. And we can do this as we go.
All right, here we go. Okay, what do you got in the chat there, Sharon? Just so we know.
The May 10th minutes were approved as amended.
Awesome. Okay, we're on fire this morning. Okay.
My pants are on fire.
Okay, hold on. Just trying to share a screen on this again. Share. Here we go. Oh, wrong one. Darn it. I think it's the wrong one. Yeah, hold on, guys. I apologize. There. Am I sharing the correct one here?
That looks great. Okay.
Excellent.
So second line, and I'm not sure if you have the same version as you, but let me see if I can find it. So as written, discrimination for these reasons is not prohibited. Okay. David suggests adding that there also be no discrimination in the promotion or advancement, discipline, and firing of officers and employees. So his point is, as it's written currently, discrimination for those reasons is not prohibited unless we argued that including the phrase conditions of employment captures all of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear you. And you know what I can remember? Thank goodness. I remember very clearly it was Bob O'Connell's advice, and it wasn't legal advice. It was his advice to use that in hiring and conditions of employment or compensation, because based on Bob O'Connell's experience in law, he said that is a common way of capturing all manner of conditions of employment.
Perfect.
Do you guys recall that?
I do, sort of.
Sharon, do you remember that?
Bob's comments. Mm-hmm.
It sounds familiar.
I took him at his word. I mean, I'll say that.
Well, the reason I felt that word was quite valid was because he said he's done a lot of legal work on this. You know, back when he was a lawyer in Tennessee, he said this was an area of law that, you know, he dabbled in a lot. And so he was offering us.
We talked about promotion or I remember that part. I don't remember, and I'm not sure it needs to be there. I don't remember talking about leaving, termination or leaving. Kevin's got a hand up. Can you see everybody, Jane?
I'm just going to go to, now I can. Yep. Go ahead, Kevin.
Conditions of employment should encapsulate everything he's suggesting. I think his point is very well made, but I think the language that we have addresses it.
Okay. Do you feel, any of you, that we need to go back to Bob for a double check on that? Because, no?
I do
Okay.
not.
Okay. Kevin, did you have a thought on that?
I think we need to move forward with what we have at this point to the CRC.
Okay.
And if Bob wants to raise it or David wants to raise it, and we can say we think it's covered. We think the point is well made, but we think it's covered. If we need to add language, we will.
Gotcha. Okay.
Do you want to hear the other 2 points? One is grammatical, so or do you want to wait for that to happen at 4?
He may not be at the meeting. Excuse me. He told me today he may not be at the meeting at 4. So what was the grammatical one?
His number 2 is a relevant point. So in the third line, or in the treatment of residents and visitors, comma is his contention. And I'll read his note. There needs to be a comma after the treatment of residents and visitors, unquote. Otherwise, as written, the words that follow, starting with in the provision of government services, only apply to residents and visitors and not as intended to county officers or employees as well. So all county personnel and officials shall ensure that there be no discrimination in hiring and conditions of employment or compensation of county officers or employees, or in the treatment of residents and visitors, comma.
Okay, so a quick thought on this is, well, county officers or employees are the ones providing government services. County officers and employees are also residents of the county. And so I don't see any issue with, how it is worded, because residents who would be having services provided them by the government are also going to be county officers and employees. I just, also grammatically, I've got my Microsoft right now is super finicky about where commas are placed and stuff like that. And it flags for me in my text, and there's no flag. And so I don't know, I'm of the view that it is unnecessary. And Microsoft is brighter than me, right? No, I'm joking, but what do you guys all feel on this? This is not something I have a big issue with, so I don't need to stand firm on it. And Sharon, if you're on mute, come off mute. I don't care if I hear you typing.
Okay, or coughing, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I just think we want to make sure that the language is as strong as possible, as clear as possible, and covers everything as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
The number 3 one is pretty black and white. I think we'll either agree or agree to move on. There is this question though about where the break is, and if the lack of comma creates a different meaning. And I'm not sure. I'm just, or in the treatment of residents and visitors, in the provision of government.
Yeah.
Not sure. We could ask that this afternoon.
Are you talking about number 2 still, Ka?
Yeah. Yeah. So number 3, lines 7 through 9. As this group included the military status of individuals, shouldn't you also include wording related to individuals who have been convicted of a misdemeanor or felony and have successfully completed their sentences to the satisfaction of any court? Don't we want to also prohibit discrimination against such individuals? So is that a thing? Is that not covered otherwise? I mean, they return to just because they're wards of the court or, in prison or convicted of something, they still don't lose. I don't get how they don't become discriminatable or this isn't the same as returning voting rights. I'm not sure. I guess his impression is that if you've been a felon or been a criminal of some kind, there's risk that you'd be discriminated against for that history.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, it's a fair point. I don't know. What do you all think about it?
Kevin has his hand up.
Madam Chair, I think actually, and even going back to the first point where I think that the conditions of employment covers his suggestions, it might be worthwhile to add some language to clarify some of these things for 2 reasons. 1, so it's very explicit and prescriptive, and 2, so that members of our commission who are more boisterous feel that they've been heard.
Okay, so what does that translate into then in terms of this text?
I'm not translating that right now. Just read into it and know what I'm saying. It might be it covers things.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So how about a line like how should it read? How should it read officially? Status as you can't say status as a previous criminal, but status as a former
felon. I mean, I think this is.
What is it in the voting code? How does it read? I'd have to look it up.
Exactly what I'm looking at.
Return of voting. And that's all of that. That'll conclude all of his comments.
I believe David is right, by the way, about the comma.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Why do you say that, Sharon?
Well, I didn't have the full language in front of me, but noting that if you don't, we have a whole list of items. If you don't put a comma after the last item in the list, it seems like the language coming right after that only applies to that last item in the list.
Is that your judgment, or are you reading that somewhere in terms of an opinion on it?
No. I mean, that's my judgment on it.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. And I who's really finicky about grammar is Bob O'Connell. So maybe we should I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with inserting it in there. We could just double check with those guys, with the crew this evening, if you'd like.
I want to say on the third one before I forget it. So status as a person, a convicted person with Upon completion of sentence, I think is how it goes, something like that.
Yeah, rather than successfully completed.
Completion of sentence is the relevant phrase, I think.
Status as a convicted person upon completion of sentence or sentencing?
Of their sentence.
Sentence.
No, the end of the sentence, the completion of the sentence. Sentencing is a physical act in a court.
Oh, yeah,
Where they get read.
right. Kevin, did you have something you wanted to chime in on here?
No, I'm reading Alabama, Arizona, Florida, and Iowa's recent action on this to see if I can grab
Oh
some.
yeah, Florida just passed.
So what did they all just pass? That
That felons cannot vote.
Yeah.
Felons
Felons
have
can-
to be released from prison.
yeah, okay. So so we could say status as a convicted person upon completion of sentence is
Mhm.
how do you all feel about adding those few words?
No. Where would it be added?
Uh-huh.
It fits between, so military status or status as a veteran, honorably discharged, and then
Just say status as a convicted felon. So this doesn't, look, this is about discrimination, not voting. So it's not about completion of sentence. It's just, it just needs to say status as a convicted felon. Like,
I agree.
you're a convicted
agree.
felon, that doesn't mean you don't have civil rights.
you're right.
Exactly. You can be sitting in the county jail and be discriminated against.
Yes, so just add status as a convicted felon.
That's a good point.
Excellent. Okay, I'm going to. I'll add it
Convicted of
after.
a crime, it doesn't have to be a felony, frankly,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So
But
Status
but that's not including people who are currently in prison, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so status, I'm just, look at the screen here, I'm just writing status as a convicted criminal or
yeah, I think so.
what was the thing about felon? Remind me, Kyle, what you just said about it not using the word felon?
It doesn't have to be a felony. A felony is one level. It could be.
Felony
Yeah.
is narrow, it's too narrow.
Gotcha, that's what I thought you meant. Okay, so status as a convicted criminal?
And not even convicted. You know what? Say status as a criminal history. You could just say criminal history.
Or I guess you could say status as an accused or convicted criminal, or
Yeah.
that covers it. I think that covers it.
Yeah, good.
Status as an accused, okay. And Sharon, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the comma in here. We're gonna make our commissioner happy. How does
Boom,
that?
done. What's your next item? That
Hold
covers
on.
it.
Wait, can we go back to his first point? What was his first point where
The
I
comma.
said, no, conditions of employment? I just
Oh,
want
yeah.
to see what he said.
I suggest adding that there also be no discrimination in the promotion, advancement, discipline, and or firing of officers and employees.
What's the
So-
difference
After-
between,
Hang on, after discrimination in hiring and conditions of employment, comma, including, and add his thing. After
Well,
employment, second line, after employment, do comma.
I disagree. I don't think we need it.
I disagree as well.
I'm just trying to divert. Okay, good enough.
No, so Kevin, I just wanted to, yeah, and Kyle, if you don't, Kyle, did you want to say why you disagree, or I'm happy to
I
offer my
think that
thoughts?
the conditions piece satisfies it. I get what he's after, but okay. As
Yeah.
written, the discrimination for these reasons is not prohibited unless one possibly argues that they are included in quote unquote conditions of employment. And he says, which I do not believe to be the case, but we do, and we wrote it.
Right.
He wants to
So-
make, I guess if he's not there this afternoon, he can't bring it up, but if somebody wants to make an issue out of it.
David Dellendorf is not there this afternoon?
No, he's not. He said he's got an emergency with his water system.
He said he may not. He may
Yeah.
not because of that. Yeah.
What
So-
about Bob? Is Bob going to be there?
Probably.
As far as I know.
You can
So-
ask him at 12.
Yeah, I think it would be good if we came to an agreement ourselves on this, though. I think there's strength in at least four of us being on the same page. I just want to say that, you know, in terms of promotion and advancement are, in my understanding, are the same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand the difference between those.
One is in, I should have read, it's in parentheses. So,
Oh, okay. And then the other one is in terms of discipline. Well, that's also something that is included in the conditions of your employment. You know, you sign an employee contract, and it lays out all of those kinds of things. It lays out the basis on which you can be promoted. It lays out the basis on which you'll be subject to discipline. And
I recommend or move or whatever that the wording in line 2 be changed in hiring and conditions of employment, either / termination or termination, something like that. Conditions of employment do cover everything while you're actively employed. Termination, I can see the point where somebody terminated could be discriminated against. And
Okay.
termination is, I can defer to Bob, but termination isn't necessarily a condition of employment, is it?
okay, so what I've done here, I've just then,
Yes,
okay.
great, looks
Employment
great.
compensation termination. Okay. All right. So I don't think we need a motion for this. We can,
We're going to need a motion at the end to adopt the entire document.
right. Okay. So do you all agree with with the adjustments we've made, which include that section there? It includes the comma here, and it includes status as an accused or convicted criminal. Those are the 3 changes. Are you all in agreement with those? I'm sorry, I have to see my screen. Does everybody agree with those 3 changes? Oh, what happened to Kyle? He disappeared. Sharon, I see a head nod.
We're good.
Kevin, a thumbs up. Kyle, probably, yeah. So,
It's all good. We can vote on it at the end too. So
okay, yep. All right, so Kyle, you're clear on those 3 edits we made, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's move on, because I
It's
have,
stronger with my thanks to David. It's better.
yeah, excellent. So we now have, I've got 14 minutes left on this call, so I'm wondering if we think we can blow through this. So we have been in receipt of Bill Apple's, he's got 2 comments now, one of which is suggesting that the reference to 3 branches of government is confusing. And the other is that, and I'm just trying to see what the other comment was, that he sent a question to Amy Vera directly about, which I forwarded on to all of you. Did you all see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Can I ask a question about that?
yeah,
Is there a history of commerce, and I don't have an issue with it, I'm just trying to get some backstory here. Has he been in communication with you, Jane, historically about, I mean, why this late hour on this? I don't understand.
okay, so my guess is what's happened is, because I sent to all the commissioners after an exchange with each of you and my redrafting. So following input from you all at different moments in the last week when we were talking about this, I did that redrafting, and I sent it to all of you so we could look at it today together and decide on it. And I copied it to the CRC, right? So what I'm probably thinking is that Commissioner Apple read Randy's memo and comments and edits to our amendments of June 7. He read what Randy responded to that on June 14. Then, because we shared, or I shared via email, what I redrafted, he's now looking at what's been redrafted for this particular amendment, holding it up to what the prosecuting attorney's comments and edits were. And that's where his questions are coming from. That's my understanding. That's what I can guess. So he has not been in, so to answer your question though, Kyle, no, he has not communicated, reached out to me directly to ask me about any of this. He just, he went ahead and copied me on communication directly with Amy Vieira. Does that clarify?
Yeah. And that's a theory. That's your hunch. Anyway.
Well, no, it's more than a hunch. It's more than a theory. And Kevin has his hand up. I'll just finish what I was going to say though, was, you know, I've seen how Commissioner Apple has taken prosecuting attorney Gaylord's comments on before, and how he's, you know, then filtered back his views to the full commission. So it's consistent with how he has sort of kept reminding us of the prosecuting attorney's position on things. That's my understanding.
Yeah, okay. I'm just, and I don't want to take time with this, but it seems like, I mean, Bill had that opportunity for over a week. We've had that advice from Randy for much longer than.
Oh, we've had the advice from the prosecuting attorney for, I think, 3 weeks as of yesterday.
Yeah.
Or Monday, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So Kevin, you had a comment about what we're discussing here in terms of this amendment.
Did Amy respond to him?
No, she has not. And
Did he, who did he copy on his request of Amy?
nobody, me. Except I'm the only one he copied. And so one email was written directly to me.
Yeah, I need to raise this with the full commission. The prosecuting attorney is not getting back to me as chair or other members, but has a constant contact with Bill Apple. And I think it's inappropriate for Bill Apple to be the voice for our prosecutor. I think
it's been addressed before.
I know it has 3 times. I think we need to bring it up tonight.
So, and so just to be clear, so you're aware, he sent to me his first email about.
We can get it. Let's finish our work, and I'll call Bill and Randy, and we'll see what happens. But I think some of this just needs to be aired. We're in a difficult place right now where we just need to finish our work.
Right. And so all I wanted to, but I think it's important before you make any calls, Kevin, just to be clear on the communications here. So he first, because I'm just talking about the content of the communications to give you a sense of the timeline. All right. So yesterday at 5 to 6.
Jane, all I was like, you and I can talk offline about this. And let's not spend the limited amount of time we have as a committee.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no problem. So can I just speak to the content then of what he was asking about? All right. Yeah. So the first email related to each branch of county government. So item number 2 was unclear to me. Does this mean a council member as the legislative branch has only 3 members? The judicial branch, 1 of the 2 judges, the executive branch, which is under inherently part of the legislative branch of the county. I'm sorry to be obtuse, but I'm lost. What have I missed? I'm copying Amy V to exhibit my confusion further. So the confusion there is references to each branch of government. I wrote back to him and I copied you all on my response to him last night at 6:26, just so you again know the timeline, and noted what he was raising, took note of it. And then he wrote back to me at 7, and then just, and then he did copy all of you on that, and the content of that related to, he's querying the extent to which duties can be imposed upon county council members, judicial and prosecutorial personnel, can be drafted to perform duties outside their statutory character. Can a judge sit on a matter that came before the commission as an example of why there is need to advance core values? Recommendations usually arise from factual situations. Is the commission's investigation to be the front end of a criminal, even criminal prosecution? I understand what you're shooting for, but pieces of existing structure aren't as flexible as we may wish. I'm very concerned about cross wires here, but leave it to the PA to resolve. It may be a matter of simply clarifying how matters come before the commission, never individual cases, but statistical sources instead. So then,
pause. Okay.
Yes.
Can I interject? So
yes.
That point is well made. what he just said. So we have had some very constructive conversations, different from our prosecutor's office. We've had some very constructive conversations on this back and forth with Judge Loring and her staff. And one of the things that she said was, and she was excited about us pursuing greater justice and equity opportunities in our county, and excited that this conversation was taking place. And when we asked, what are the limitations, she kind of half joked, but was very serious and saying, well, this commission obviously wouldn't be reviewing my individual decisions. I think that's very important. And so I think Commissioner Apple is making a good point in that segment, which is that maybe we need to clarify that, and I don't know where it fits in here, but to clarify that we would not, that this commission, not we, but this commission would not have oversight or be advising on individual cases that the prosecutor or a judge may be considering. But instead, we'll be looking at, how departments are run, how equity and justice is incorporated into their department as a whole. So that's not regarding, that could be a prosecutor or an auditor, doesn't matter. It's how the department is addressing justice and equity with their staff and the people they relate to through their work. And then the second piece specific to a judge or a prosecutor is that this would not have bearing on individual cases. While we could say something like, while it may look statistically at groups of decisions or cases, this would not have any bearing on individual cases or outcomes. Something, and I think we need help on that language, but I do think.
How about something like, and county employee, line 3, and delivery of jurisprudence or something like that. Something really simple that says, that differentiates the day-to-day office business and or, it's the two faces of justice. That's Bill's hang up. And I get it. I mean, what you're saying, Kevin, makes sense to me, but it's the delivery, the decision-making delivery that's allowed to judges in the PA in state statute. And I think the very first, like line 3, we've said, hereby establish a Justice, Equity, and Inclusion Commission to serve in an advisory capacity to all branches of county government elected on matters concerning justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And somewhere in there saying something about not, Bob's advice would help here, but something about not intervening or not intervening on decisions of, it's probably better language.
So I think, first of all, I fully understand what Bill is getting at here. And I, like Kevin, agree that it's important that we be clear, because what he's saying could be construed by this inaccurately would be that, somehow this commission is imposing duties on judges or the prosecuting attorney, which it would not be doing, of course, right? So I think what we may need to do is refer to Amy on this matter to get the language clear, so that it is not taken to imply that in any way. And
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I guess I apologize, 3 more minutes left till I have to jump off the call. And we need to end the meeting. So because I don't think we can settle this in 3. Go ahead, Kevin. What's your solution?
I think we need to adopt language that's moving forward to the CRC, and I'm realizing that between this and climate and environment, I'll be scheduling a special meeting for Friday for the full CRC. So I hope nobody's doing anything Friday evening. But that said, I think this has to be 2 things. I think we need to move forward this language in as solid of a format as we can get, and I think we need to go to Bob. Would be a great person to help us think about how to address this, and Bill as well, and I'll call Bill. But, you know, the prosecutor told me a couple months ago there, and his words were, there can be no oversight over my department. And I think that's a little strong, but I also recognize that the area where we need to be very careful is that there can't be oversight over his, you know, what cases he takes on, who he decides to prosecute, and so on. That has to be his authority, and cannot, you can't have a citizens committee intervening in that. And same with Judge Loring or any other judge. You can't have a citizens committee coming in saying, hey, I didn't like your decision. That's not what this is about. I think Bob's point, Bill's point about statistics, if you looked at, you know, if, thank God this would never happen with any of our judges, but, you know, if 90% of the people who were convicted in our court were Latino, that would be statistically something this committee could start to address.
Right.
And so we just need some sort of language to get at that, so that it spells out how to get at that.
Exactly. And also, Kevin, and I'm just going to go back again to resolution number 31, right? We want language that enables this commission to, you know, to support the implementation of that resolution in the county, right? So that's what we're driving at here. Kyle, and I'm sorry, guys,
I move that this subcommittee approves the language as we have it now, with the notion that we may revisit that for further specific conversation around the term advisory, but move this forward as is to the general commission this afternoon.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion on the table and a second. Are there any further discussion on that?
It's awesome.
Okay,
It really is awesome.
can I take a vote? Does everybody agree? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Aye. Awesome. Okay, we'll leave it there for now. All right. And I will, I can send this around to everybody one more time without any, and we can speak to it at 4 at the meeting. Is that okay? I'll let the full
Yes.
CRC see it though again before we meet. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll adjourn and really appreciate your help. Have a good day. We'll see you at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Are you ending it, Jane?
I am ending it now. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
The recording.
And Kyle, are you free for a second if I try? Yeah. Thanks.
Oops, sorry. I just got to stop the recording.